Hey there, it's Seth Task again with Real Estate Matters. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about the VA loan in honor of our veterans and the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. In the marketplace, sometimes the VA loan has a negative connotation, and I want to dispel some of that today because it's a fantastic loan product, and I would love to see realtors and sellers accept more contracts with VA loans because they're not as arduous as people think. Well, you might ask why we even have a VA loan. When was it created? So the VA loan came out of the GI Bill in 1944. You know, a lot of veterans were coming back from World War II, and Congress felt it was important that we treated our veterans with respect and gave them benefits to help them become homeowners, prevent homelessness. We still have that problem even today, and that's a shame. So if a veteran wants to use their VA benefit and get a VA loan for buying a home, they merely go to a lender that is qualified in underwriting a VA product. Most of your major banks will underwrite VA loans. A VA loan differs from a conventional loan or even an FHA loan in a few different capacities. Number one, it's one of the only loan products out there that is no money down. So a veteran doesn't have to put money down on a VA loan. They can use that either as a down payment, sometimes as an appraisal gap coverage. If a property doesn't appraise, puts them in a better negotiating position oftentimes against buyers that don't have appraisal gap coverages. It also differs in that there's no PMI. That's mortgage insurance. Now, a conventional loan that has a lower down payment, whether it's a 3%, 5%, 10% down, will normally have some kind of mortgage insurance, and so will an FHA loan, but a VA loan does not have a mortgage insurance payment. So that also helps the veteran with their costs. There's also no loan limits on a VA loan. This is something that the National Association of Realtors helped lobby for last year, and that finally passed through the VA, is that there's no loan limit on a VA loan. So in some of these areas, veterans were really losing out in some markets that are higher dollar markets because there were caps on the VA loan. Now a veteran can use that loan and their VA benefit at any price range in any community. The VA loan from an interest rate perspective is extremely competitive. Oftentimes the VA loan rate is as competitive or even more competitive. It doesn't cost the veteran any more than going a conventional or FHA route. The credit requirements are honestly very good. They subscribe to what we call the borrower's ability to repay. The underwriting guidelines and the debt ratio are very similar to conforming products. One other cool thing about the VA loan is that the loans are assumable. So if a buyer wants to purchase a veteran's home, that loan can be assumed by the buyer, even if they're not a veteran. Puts them in a very good position against products that are not assumable. And let me dispel some myths about the VA loan that a lot of sellers may think that it's a difficult process. One of them are inspections. Some people think that the veteran is required to have a certain inspections. Now, the Veterans Administration appraiser, the appraiser that's going to come out and value the property, does do an inspection, but it's not a general home inspection. It's extremely benign. It's mostly all health and safety issues. And if the veteran's buying a nice home that's been cared for properly, there's going to be very little, if any, issues on that inspection. And those things can be negotiated in the contract as well. It used to be that the underwriting time frame on the VA loan was longer, much longer than conventional or FHA, but now they've gotten very good at it, and it really can be underwritten in almost the same time as a conventional loan or an FHA loan. Also, in relation to costs, one misconception is that the veteran cannot pay for certain closing costs during the course of that loan, and that's a misconception as well. Most often, all of the closing costs associated with the veteran can be paid by the veteran. The pest inspection in some states cannot be paid by the veteran, and there must be a pest inspection. But most states including Ohio, have an exemption for that. So that is something that really should not, and a pest inspection being such a small dollar item, shouldn't affect the negotiation of a home. But I will tell you that even in the past, I have paid for the pest inspection for my veteran client to make sure that it was something that the seller did not take on as a negotiating point. So you'll want to talk to the lender who is underwriting that loan to see about paying for the pest inspection. I'll tell you a quick story about a client that I helped last year. I had a veteran who served our country overseas in Afghanistan recently, and I was concerned because we were in this hot COVID market. I was concerned that the seller and or the listing agent would not put our client in an equal negotiating footage with the other buyers. We were in a multiple offer situation, and you just never know what's going to happen there. But we were able to take some of the cash that they had and use that as an appraisal gap, which would put them in a very good negotiating position against some other offers. And frankly speaking, I had a great conversation with the listing agent about the VA loan. I got great information from the lender to talk about how well qualified that veteran was in buying that home. And we were able to get that veteran the home in a multiple offer situation with over a dozen offers on that property. For a couple reasons. Number one, we were able to pay more than any other buyer, and we were able to help dispel all these myths about VA loans to the seller. And they, frankly speaking, were honored that a veteran was buying their home. And I think that's great. I think as realtors, we just have to work harder sometimes to make sure that we're taking care of those people who've taken such great care of us. God bless. God bless our veterans. Have a great weekend.